I've tried to sign on. It's at my parents' house. Oh no, you went live. I'm not signed in.
That's all right. We'll talk to Newman first.
Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend D.G. Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Lilith Hellfire, and you're listening to Capes and Lunatics Summer of '69.
Diggity dank.
Hello and welcome back to the Nightwing News, episode 150.
That's impressive.
I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is.
Hello, I'm Kristen.
And then today we've got, like we said last time, brand new issue, Nightwing 93. And that wasn't enough. Summer of 69 comes in Nightwing News with a review of Batman 213. Because both Hellfire demanded it.
And we know better than to try to resist her demands.
Because both demanded it. Everyone's doing Summer of 69, so. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've been covering some of the other Batman issues. If they're not reprints, every new issue of Batman back then, it seemed like it was a rejected 66 series script.
Maybe it was.
It was, because it was like right before Denny took it, and Denny took over, so.
Oh, sure, yeah.
They were kind of still like trying to find, it's like, well, what do we want to be since the show went off the air? All right, but before we get there, we got the new issue, Nightwing 93. She's digital. All right, so we've been waiting a month for this, kids. Heartless and Blockbuster face to face. What's gonna happen? Heartless basically wants Bloodhaven. He tells Blockbuster, "Name your price."
Blockbuster says, "No way."
That's when the fists start flying.
And the desks, yeah.
But he's like, "Yeah, no point taking your heart. No one will miss you." And then he's like, "Wait a minute. The city. That's what will hurt you, right?" And then I guess Blockbuster hits him with a desk and knocks him out the window.
Yep. And that's the last that we see of him at the moment.
Yep, till the end of the issue.
He's saying, Commissioner McLean, I need cleanup. But does he?
Well, he thinks there's going to be a body in the street. He's like, eh.
Right.
Please.
That's what I'm saying. He thinks there is, but I have a feeling Heartless is not down and out.
We'll get there. But speaking of cleanup,
yep.
Dick's going to clean up the Haven.
Yep. Going to clean up the people who vandalized Alfred's statue.
I know. How dare they? So Barbara's like, "Are you all right?" He's like, "Not really." She's like, "Well, how about we find them, expose them, and punish them accordingly? Will that make you feel better?" Definitely.
Yeah, because this is actually the next day, the morning after what happened last month, right?
Yeah, well, it looks like the sun's coming up, yeah.
Yeah. After he pulled their masks off while the cameras were conveniently out.
Remember that, kids. But then as he's
And the police come up and they start shooting him for no reason.
I know. He's like, guys, I know the Bloodhaven PD is openly corrupt, but shooting at me for cleaning?
That's ludicrously crooked.
Mm-hmm.
That it is.
I mean, what posed the bigger public threat, the cloth or the bucket?
I mean, obviously the bucket, because look at how he takes him out with that bucket.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sweet.
Although it's Dick Grayson, I'm sure he could take him out with a wet cloth, too.
Well, yeah, but the bucket has, the bucket makes more satisfying noises.
I know. He puts it on the cop's head and kicks it. Twang.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome.
Barbara's like,
I also love how he has a special Nightwing motorcycle jacket.
oh yeah.
I think that's one of my favorite things in this issue. Is he jumps in the bush, gets out his motorcycle, and he has a sweet Nightwing jacket on. That it looks very remarkably similar to his outfit, but you can see it's not exactly the same.
And then the cops start chasing. Looks like all the cop cars are chasing him from both directions. So he's like, I gotta get off the road. So yes, he shoots out a line, and swings that bike off the bridge, and basically crashes to the street below.
Yeah. Okay. So he goes off. Okay, he was on the bridge and he goes off. Okay.
Yep. Oh, as he's falling, that line goes thwip. Oh, Spider-Man.
Oh, is that Spider-Man's signature sound?
That's the webbing. Yep, the whip.
Nice.
But yeah, he picks himself up, and she's like, "You okay?" "I'm okay." She's like, "You should probably stay here tonight." He's like, "Yep, on my way."
Yep. So Batgirl headquarters. Okay, so now this is the next morning. Or do you think it's still the same morning?
I'm thinking it's the same morning, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Same morning that he was cleaning. Because it's really early, I guess, when he was cleaning.
Yeah, but she has all the names of everybody who's in the Haven and vandalizing the Haven.
Oh yeah, she says last night. Yeah, last issue. I can't read what's on his T-shirt though. It's like I don't have enough letters to know what it is.
Yeah, it looks like it's
in Spanish.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you got an en in the middle there between two big words. So yeah, I'm thinking it's not English. So but yeah, they're eating breakfast, and she's like, yeah, she has a whole. She has everybody they know. She has the whole rundown on everyone who vandalized the Haven. He's like, "What? Seriously? This is. I mean, it's terrible, but it's great." She's like, "I know." And then he says the magic words: "You're incredible. I love you."
Oh, and then they both get this like look on their face.
I know. That was not supposed to. It just slipped out. Sorry.
You're sorry for saying you love me? No. Yeah, yes, no.
And his phone goes off. Oh, thank God. I think it was like, I want to say it. I don't think that was the right moment to say it for the first time.
Right, just having it slip out. But I also sometimes people get weird about that if you like say it too soon or whatever. So maybe that's why he was.
It just seems weird because I mean, again, I don't know what continuity's like these days, but it's like they've been on again, off again for so long. Don't you think he would have said it before now?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how it works when you're an on again, off again.
Yeah.
Romance in
They were-
movies in comics.
They were almost engaged. I thought maybe he would have said it. They were engaged.
Yeah, but maybe in New 52 they haven't dated before now.
In Dark Crisis Young Justice #1 that came out today, they mentioned when Connor got killed in Infinite Crisis.
Oh, they did.
You know the one. You know the one where Dick was supposed to die. So
yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess
it's a canon, damn it. You know what? They again, they're not saying anything these days about rebooting or anything, but slowly they've been bringing back more and more pre-New 52 stuff. So.
Oh, I guess just go with the flow.
All right, but anyway, yes, his sister calls, says you better get back to Bloodhaven.
Commissioner is using last night as an excuse. They're
Yep.
being mean to all the kids.
Yep, basically, yeah, pat downs and stop and frisk. Yep. He's like, and the Dick's just like thinking, I thought the members of the Bloodhaven PD could have some shame. But no, they're out here hassling kids in broad daylight. So yeah, he comes up to the commissioner. Is there a problem, Mr.
They're going to
Grayson?
feel welcome if they're treated like criminals.
Yeah.
And then he tries to pull these kids are criminals. Whatever. And then
He's like,
after last night, we wouldn't want anything else to happen.
how about your people out of the Haven? And the commissioner, you may need to accept that you're not in control of every situation, Mr. Grayson.
Well, he's about to have to eat those words.
Yep. And then the commissioner even invited the media.
To talk about the criminal activities.
So
he calls on Barbara now. And then this was so cute. She takes Haley's little paw. Tap. Haley's living with. I feel like Haley's Barbara's dog now. Although they don't show Haley in the Batgirls, do they?
No.
So,
although I was gonna say, yeah, was it last week? Batgirls number 7. They're like infiltrating the Iceberg Lounge. Barbara's going in. So guess who she calls for a date?
Dick. No.
Looks good in a tux. That's right.
Was it a good date or did it get ruined by pain?
It's kind of still in progress. You know, it was pretty much.
Oh, it's a 2-issue date. Nice.
Pretty much the last page is them walking in. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I see. They're setting it up. Exciting. And then the commissioner's trying to spin it. Oh, these people in Haven were so bad. Dick says, it's not true. There's video of last night's attack.
And I love all the commissioners like, there is no video. The cameras were forcibly taken offline last night. And Dick's like, that's something Team Vandals are capable of, is it, Commissioner? And he's like, regardless, any potential footage would be unhelpful. The people who did this were masked. And Dick says, how do you know that? Everyone here can judge for themselves how helpful that footage is. It's just gone live and links have been sent to every major news network. The video shows several of the perpetrators unmasked and all have been independently identified, all members of the Bloodhaven Police Department. So the press loves this.
Heck yeah. And now the reporter's like, Commissioner. He's all, where did that video come from, Grayson? He's like, you need to accept it. You're not in control of every situation. Boom! In your face, Commissioner.
That's right. And one of the kids, that was amazing. Dick's like, all right. I tell Barbara, that could not have gone any better. Thank you. And she's like, don't thank me. It was all Haley. I didn't know that was one of her tricks, Barbara. It is. Sit, roll over, strike a meaningful blow against the corrupt institution.
Yeah. She's a good dog.
What the? He's like, we need to talk about what's next. She's like, later. For now, just enjoy this. Seriously, we don't get wins like that every day.
Yep. And then we see Heartless.
Yep.
He's not dead, but he's in trouble. And he has a helper who is like hooking him up to a USB stick.
In his arm, yes.
Yeah. And getting him a heart. So now we know partially why he's stealing all these hearts.
Yeah, because all his enhancements are fine, but his heart, and I know this heart is almost done, Gerald. He says, it will be all right, sir. Close your eyes. I'll get you a new one. And yes, we see a wall of hearts. And
look we see a really big jar there that's empty.
I wonder who that was supposed to be.
We'll see what happens for next time with old Blockbuster.
Yep. So this was good, even though we didn't get a ton of Dick in costume. It was still a very good issue. Tom Taylor keeping that quality up.
No, it was a good issue. When it was done, I was like, no, it was too short.
That's what I always think. Since this team has started, I'm like, these issues are too short. Yeah. Hey, maybe might be getting a big double size one soon because I mean we're only a few months from 100.
That's true. Yeah. I think it particularly fell short because I read the old one, 213 first, which is, of
Mm,
course, a giant sized issue. And then I read this one and I was like, so
multiple
short.
stories, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, this one's good, and I'm hoping, yes, we explore this Dick and Barbara thing. Get a really big relationship going here because, yeah, like I said, he showed up in the Batgirl's book, so
Yeah.
they're playing this up. Multiple creative teams are doing stuff with Dick and Barbara, so.
We'll see what happens. See if they can keep it up before they ruin it. Which hopefully
Uh,
they don't, but you know how it is.
yeah. Oh, hey, it's not Dick Grayson per se, but I sent you the link, right? Did you see what is it? September. Tim's getting his a Robin series again.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds very interesting. And I guess it helps establish that he's actually an adult because it sounds like he's living on his own.
Yeah, it seems like he's gonna have his own section of Gotham to patrol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that would.
that doesn't mean much. I mean, his first series, he was like, I don't know, 14 or 15, I think, when he got his first series. So
That's true. But he didn't have his own corner of Gotham.
no, but a lot of times he was on his own.
Right. But just the way they made it sounds a little bit like a I don't know, it just made him sound like I mean, he should be an adult. I
Yeah.
mean, that he's, out of high school and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah. And if you just want to catch up before that comes out, yes, the DC Pride issue, the Tim Drake special came out last week. Which there was an original story, and then it reprinted a bunch of the stuff from Batman Urban Legends. So if you're just interested in the Tim stuff, yeah, pick up that DC Pride issue.
Yeah, it was good.
All right, so should we get to the Batman issue
Yeah, let's do it.
from 1969, kids? There's your summer of '69 tie-in. Boy, I wonder what story Kristen liked the best out of these 5 stories.
Take a guess.
The one in the middle of the cover there, the origin of Robin. Lots of origin issues. It's the origin of Alfred, the origin of the man behind the red hood, the origin of Clayface, and the game of death. All right, but what story did they start the issue out with, Chris?
They started it out with Origin of Robin.
But I like that they did. I mean, this isn't the original art that they actually like. It's kind of like a retelling, and it's not just they didn't just like slap the original pages from Detective 38 in here.
No, yeah, I think that this is the only um, original story in it. I think that's the new one.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I think the other ones maybe they might have just pulled the pages and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes. The one thing. Yes, yeah, because it's a new story. E. Nelson Bridwell.
Yeah.
So, they've got
And
that.
and again, Lilith and I were talking about this. It's like, for some of you may be like, well, why are they just doing a book of like, reprint, like retellings or reprinting stories? It's like, well, one, sometimes they had, scheduling conflicts, but two, it's 1969. At this point, Batman had already been around for 30 years. 30, can you believe it? He had already been around for 30 years. There really wasn't back issue bins back then, kids. There was no internet. So it's like, if you missed an issue, you probably missed it. You probably never saw that issue.
Yeah, so that's at least that's a lot of different children, new people reading.
Yes.
So,
And again, if you were a kid reading in 1969, you probably had not read Detective Comics 38.
probably not. So, I think in this one, it's pretty similar. There's a couple, they explicitly show Dick hearing about it.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
not sure if they do that in the original one. But yes, again, Batman meets him first and is like, hop in my car, kid. And how it's in Newtown, so Boss Zuko is too much in control there.
I love how they kept it so, so close to the original story, because even like when they're driving away, they give you a little editor's note where it's like back then the Batmobile was only like a souped up sedan. There was no like
Yes,
bat decorations on it or
yes, it
anything.
wasn't special. It's just a car. Yeah. And then, of course, how Batman's like, I understand what you're going through. I'm Batman because my parents were killed too. And he's like, I'm going to do the same thing. And Batman's like, well, okay, I'll give you a chance.
Well, I thought it over on the drive home, and yes, here, swear to me by candlelight.
Yeah, but we get the oath. Swear that you will fight against crime and corruption and never swerve from the path of right. Although I think now they say never swerve from the path of justice. Because, Batman, justice. I swear. Okay, this is the one thing that's funny to me, and I once read fan fictions, and it was really a good idea. So Dick's in a traveling circus, and like in the story, he doesn't know who Batman is. So when he finds the Batcave, he's like, "Is Bruce a mad scientist or something?" And he's like freaked out until Bruce explains it. But in this one, okay, he meets Batman, and then he takes off his. Then he's like, I'm socialite Bruce Wayne. And Dick's like, golly, like, I mean, Dick is from a traveling circus. It's not like he knows Gotham that well.
I'm assuming at this point we're just like, again, we're all hot off the heels of Batman 66. Are we just like playing under the assumption that most of the world knows who Batman is?
Right, yeah. It just struck me as funny
Yeah.
that this little kid, he's like, I'm socialite Bruce Wayne. I mean, when I was 8, 10 years old, I didn't know who any socialites were. If some rich person was like, whoop, take my mask off. Look, I'm a rich person. I wouldn't be like, wow. I mean, I guess
I don't know if that's
I'd be
just
like, wow, that's
I
an
don't know if that.
interesting thing to do with your money. But it just cracked me up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just more along the lines. It's like, hey kid, I'm really famous, so you really can't be spreading my name around.
Yeah, I guess it just cracked me up. Well, I mean, maybe it's also that it's 69, but he's like, golly, which is so
And
1940.
And again, we're just quickly getting to the point. It's like, hey kid,
Right.
here.
I don't know. That one just made me laugh a lot. And then, of course, still, you're like, I can't let you adopt him, Mr. Wayne, because you're a bachelor. But since you obtained the consent of his nearest relatives, you're his legal guardian. And later they just do away with any other near relatives.
So basically, you can take the kid, but you can't make it official in paperwork.
Yeah, which seems weirder.
Yeah, I know. Because again, at this point, I think they're going with the origin because, like I said, Lilith and I were doing some of the Batman stuff. It's like, I don't think Alfred doesn't show up until later after they're already Batman and Robin. So it's like, Bruce was like raised by like his uncle Philip.
Yeah, Philip Kane or something, I think.
Because I know we were laughing about that, making the Fresh Prince jokes about Uncle Phil. But then, and then his housekeeper, who he left Bruce in the care of a lot, what turned out to, she said her name was Mrs. Chilton, but her son was Joe Chill. The coincidences.
Yes. Then we get
my son killed your parents, but I will help raise you.
Yeah. Full circle. Then we get the training montage.
You're the best around. No one's gonna keep you down.
I don't know. I think they should train to Eye of the Tiger.
Yes. Oh. But yeah, because at least like when like Tim became Robin, like they waited like a couple months, maybe it might have been a year, but like they would show him in the comics, but he really didn't put the suit back on after that first time for like probably a year. But yeah, here.
Well, that's why later on they've kind of retconned some of the stuff and they invented the gauntlet and stuff so that Bruce looks less irresponsible.
I know, because here we're training Dick in like 3 panels. They're ready.
Yeah, and then he's smoking in front of him.
Yes.
Bad Bruce. This is the one part that I'm really glad they've retconned is Dick's like, I could be a different flying creature. And Bruce with his epic smoke ring It's like, what about Robin? I'm like, yeah, Robin Hood was one of my favorites. And then Bruce has his little, and that was just kind of a stupid story when they had that one back in the 50s when Batman was Robin.
Yes.
I was like,
Yeah.
they can't let anything be. That was, I've seen some stuff written about it. It was kind of that, nothing, everything has to be a legacy back then. So instead of, I don't know, it feels like it's just a very 50s thing that, instead of letting somebody invent something, because they also have that story that's like the first Batman, and it turns out Thomas Wayne once wore basically a Batman costume to a costume ball and stuff. It's like nobody was allowed to originate. The main characters apparently weren't allowed to originate their own stuff. They had to.
That just seems weird. Yeah, because Bruce Wayne wants Harvey Harris to train him, and so he has to wear a costume. That just seems weird because they did retcon that after Crisis. There is a story in one of the annuals where it's like, yeah, he trains under Harvey Harris, but Bruce just goes in as a regular person and uses the name Frank Dixon, because Franklin W. Dixon was the creator of the Hardy Boys. See, he was training with the detectives there.
Boom, funny. Plus, it doesn't really make any sense why you would wear a costume like that to go train with a detective.
A bright, colorful costume, yes.
Like you're not being a superhero. You're being a detective. You can just wear regular clothes.
Wear a cheesy mustache, something.
That's right. No one should ever have to justify a fake mustache.
Yes. Oh my god. And then we get the part with Dick going undercover as the newspaper boy.
Yep. Classic. And again,
that's like another thing that you really can't do in a modern retelling is like a kid standing on the corner selling papers.
Yeah, he'd only be able to sell the papers like one day a week. And no one would buy it.
On his bike, throwing them.
Yeah. So then Batman's busting up Tony Zuko's stuff. And then again, Robin's riding on the bumper, and we get to the construction site. And he does use his slingshot, which then they don't show him using that a lot later on. But one improvement is nobody falls off and they just let them fall like they did in 1940, where some guy falls off the building and they're just like, meh. Actually, they don't even notice. if I'm
man, just this version of Zuko, man, I can hear him talking like, yeah, say we're gonna get some of our protection money, say, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a wise kid, eh? Like he's like a bad New Jersey stereotype.
Like those old gangster movies.
And then talks about the acid, and Zuko tries to kill that stoolie. He does, and Dick says, oh no, I'm too far away to save him, but I can do this.
Oh yeah, the building under construction.
He takes photographs of him. And then again, old-timey. It's like, extra, extra, Boss Zuko's going to the electric chair. It's like, whoa, dang. Right, and then another thing, that they're just so casual about it, not really understanding how guardianship works. So at the end, Bruce is like, well, Dick, your parents are avenged. Do you want to go back to the circus? And he's like, no, I want to keep fighting crime. And he's like, okay. That's not how it works.
Why not?
But I mean, nobody's reading this for an accurate depiction of how child welfare services works.
He's a rich man. He can grease some wheels. Come on.
Right, I know, but he's also like, yeah, if you wanted to go back to the circus, I'd just toss you back there.
I know, with the identity of the Batman. Yeah, I know. Hey, it's 1969. He'd probably be like, hey, if you want to go back to the circus, I can hypnotize you so you forget who I am.
Yeah, for real. Probably would. All right. Dick says, I'll make you proud of me, Bruce. No. And they say he did and won the right to be Batman's permanent partner. Until new writers come along and change it up.
Permanent partner? That comment did not age well.
Well, Well. They still have like 15 years to go.
1969. They're like, yeah, 29, 30 years, nothing's gonna break these guys up.
That's right. Nothing's gonna stop them. Nothing. All right. Yes, and then everything else is old reprints.
Yeah, like the origin of Alfred.
Yeah, but you get Alfred's hilarious origin. It cracks me up. I mean, again, because whatever, it's comic books, but it really cracks me up how Alfred is like, "Oh, my father's I made a deathbed promise to my father that I would come and work for you." Bruce is like, "Oh, okay."
I just love at the end of the story where they're, because this is like the short, chubby Alfred, and at the end of the story, they're like, Alfred lost weight and grew his mustache in Detective Number 83.
Right.
In
Because
1944.
after that movie, they're like, "Oh yeah, everybody liked that Alfred." But yeah, that cracked me up. That cracked me up. It's like, well, can we try that now? Like, can you just walk into a place where you want the job and say, "Yeah, I'm gonna work here because I made a dying promise to my father."
And again, it's like, what kind of rich guy doesn't have a butler?
Apparently, a rich guy that's too busy fighting crime and adopting orphans from the circus.
And again, it's like, oh, Alfred's not that clever. He'll never discover our identities. Ah, darn it.
Yup.
No, I do like the more modern Alfred. He's more capable.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I know. You go back and read this, and it's kind of an insult to the to the Alfred as he's developed now.
Yes, he's just like the bumbling butler who it's like accidentally saves the day.
Yep. So then we have Robin the Boy Wonder in The Game of Death.
Yes. Game of Death. Yeah, this one was kind of weird. Where they make Robin.
That guy blames Batman for the death of his brothers.
And it's like, here, you can choose Batman. Choose the way we're gonna kill Batman, kid. Dick has to say, oh, firing squad. And they make Robin.
Like, I need to say goodbye.
And they make Robin blindfold him. Big mistake. Big mistake.
And we find out. And again, I guess this works with older weapons. I don't know. I'm not going to try it. How about that? Where it's like, oh, I put that diary over your heart. That's where they all shot. You're good.
Yes, because everyone, even the lowest of criminals, knows the tradition of the firing squad for aiming at the heart. See, modern Batman, he would just be armored, and it's just wouldn't matter.
Right? Yeah.
I'm vengeance.
And then we get the Red Hood.
Yes.
Which, can we just talk about it's so obvious that this is an old comic, the way they draw the Hawaiian student.
Yeah. Yes.
It's like, ugh.
Yes. Again, the art wasn't that sophisticated back then, so.
Right. It's like, way to be racist there.
And again, I think this was the original issue, so this was even before 1969. So.
Oh right, yeah. This is an older one. Also, the woman, she's like, oh golly, I'm sorry, I didn't sign up for Batman's force. Isn't he divine? Like, oh my god.
I could tell he's hot, even though I can't see his face.
Yes. Then we get some good detective tips. And I did think it was pretty smart of the students how they figured out that the Red Hood wears like those two-way mirrors or whatever.
Yeah, and his helmet, yeah.
I also liked how Dick is inventing things in the down there. He's inventing a chemical, experimenting that returns the original color of burned things. Go figure.
Oh yes. It's like, ooh, I messed up. This hair, it turned his hair green.
I also love how Bruce is down there in the Batcave in his bathrobe with an ascot. It's amazing. He's so dapper.
Well, I mean, is it any more ridiculous than modern comics where he's sitting down there in his bat suit and it's just like there's nobody around?
No, I just dig it. That's all.
Diggity dang. That Batcave looks like a garage. I swear when they're working on that hair. Wait a minute, is that a window? When Bruce said, "Wait, Dick, how about trying out that new chemical formula you've been developing, experimenting with?" That panel doesn't look like there's a window behind it.
Yeah, it does.
What kind of
You're
cave
right.
is this?
Yes.
But it says they returned to the Batcave, so
Maybe it's a fake window.
cave, basement,
Whatever. Garage.
Oh, but Dick hurts his hands, trying to punch the Red Hoods in the head with that helmet on, so he can't finish the adventure.
That looks like he's wearing an oven mitt.
I know. I just love the one student's like, what about Robin? And it's like, he'll be fine in a few weeks. But yeah, the students figured out the helmet. They're like, yeah, you can also have a gas mask and a diving helmet in that thing.
Genius.
So, in typical Scooby-Doo fashion, they unmask the Red Hood. But it's a copycat.
Yep.
The school gardener, Earl Farm Boy Benson. But he's only 22 years old, so he couldn't have been the Red Hood, the original Red Hood. Because it was 10 years ago. So Batman's been around for 10 years at this point. They're just like, like he would have been 12 when the original Red Hood showed up.
He overpowered Red Hood and locked him in the tool shed. And he's like, Robin, you didn't make a mistake. So it's like, he has green hair, so obviously, yup, it's Joker.
Yep. Oh my god, and the farm boy actually captured him and tied him up to steal that identity.
And then we find out, according to this, he was the Red Hood before he was the Joker. Because he swam in a pool of chemical waste. Why would you do such a thing? That's a terrible idea.
Well, escaping Batman. But no, yeah, first he was because he's like, yeah, my skin was normal, but like you, I was but I was a lab worker until I decided to steal $1 million and retire. So I became the Red Hood. That's 1969 money, or hell, that was 40 something money. So $1 million, it's probably like $1 billion.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if you were like already 80 and you wanted to retire.
Yeah, now, but back then, that was probably like $1 billion.
Yeah, that was a lot.
So yeah, to escape from Batman, yeah, he purposely threw himself in the sludge, unlike the movie where he fell. But
Yep.
they got home and found out, yeah.
Like, oh, it didn't mess me up except to change my skin creepy white and my hair green. So now I'm going to be the Joker.
Then I realized my new face could terrify people, and because the playing card company made my new face, I named myself after the card with the face of a clown, the Joker.
Okay.
So basically, I went insane, kids.
That's right.
And all these years I've been laughing at you. You never even knew my identity till now.
It was like, you're wrong. We knew it before we opened the door, so now we're laughing at you.
Yeah, fool.
That's right.
And then the next story, Batman and Robin face Clayface.
Yeah, but not the original Clayface,
Nope.
not the Basil Carlo for Carlo,
no.
whatever.
No, this is Clayface 2, Matt Hagen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they show Batman and Robin fighting this guy who can change shape and even become a bird and fly away.
Yeah, and Matt Hagen is a much more famous Clayface. Like, that's who it was in the animated series, right?
Yeah, they used the name Matt Hagen. They did make him an actor, but yes, it was Matt Hagen in the animated series.
Yeah.
who Matt Hagen, who died in Crisis on Infinite Earths. So, but yes, he got his power when he went scuba diving and found a pool of some strange, I don't want to say chemical, but it's kind of a protoplasm. He says.
Yes, well, he slides into it, and now he's like, oh, I'm a weird clay dude. But then he realizes he can change himself up. He's like, this is awesome.
I love this is such a 1960s comic. He's like, that strange protoplasm, a freak of nature, or maybe it drifted here from outer space.
That's right, maybe it did.
Yeah, he decided to use his power to rob banks.
Yes, he decides to use his power for evil.
Yep. So yeah, Robin's like, Batman, how do we know if this thing is a man or a creature? And Batman's like, silly boy. What would a creature
Why would
want?
a creature steal money?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, good point.
And of course, yes, with his powers, this is the most dangerous villain we've ever fought this month.
This month.
And then
I love how they just shove him into that closet, and then he starts oozing out of the keyhole. And Batman, great Scott!
Yeah, so he can make his body small enough to slip out through the keyhole.
Then he starts to realize his power's ebbing.
Yep. So he takes the place of some bystander on the street, and then Robin's like, I wonder when we'll see Clayface again. Meanwhile, we see him going back for more of that protoplasm.
Yep.
And then Clayface.
Well, because they realized it was Clayface that tricked them. That was like, oh, he ran down that way because they didn't realize he was losing his clay powers.
Walked the real guy in the closet, yeah. But then Matt Hagen's like, in true villainous 66 fashion, I need a gang.
That's right.
A disguised Clayface addresses his new recruits. Was that a snake head or a lizard head or something?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. That's a weird one. But Batman gets a little piece of the clay, and he's like, oh, this is only in deep excavations.
This is known as China clay, found only in deep yeah. So then they track down.
Watching a hoodlum.
Yep.
And then Robin, it gets hit, but he pretends to be unconscious. So he's watching Clayface, and he follows him with a whirly bat.
Yep, to a big mansion.
Yep, and he goes down the chimney. Boom, splats down like Santa's little elf. And Clayface changes into some weird lion, dinosaur, unicorn. But Robin shoves the chair at him, and so Clayface stabs his unicorn horn through an armchair.
And Robin, I'm boxed in. I'm finished. Finished! Till Batman throws a rug on him.
Yep. And all of a sudden, the clock starts, and oh no, he's losing his powers because it's been 48 hours.
Even Robin's like, Batman, you're right. His power is going. His talons and horns are getting shorter. Yep. So they're finally able to arrest Matt Hagen when his powers wear off.
Right, but he won't tell him where his clay is. Because one day he'll escape and renew his power, and Clayface will return.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's a little bit different from the animated series and probably later, where he's clay all the time now.
Yeah, he basically overdoses on the stuff. Yeah, and yep.
So that's the end.
So yeah, that was a nice little kind of like a sampling of 1969 stories because it was a bunch of short stories.
Mhm. Obviously, the Robin one was best, but it's definitely good.
But he
For
was in
people
all. But he was in all of them, though. But yeah, of
Right,
course,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's definitely good for people who are newer readers.
yeah. Because, like I said, yeah, sometimes you get they would get a hole in the schedule, and I guess they did like this reprint stuff. Eventually, they would go to a thing where, like when me and Lilith were talking to DG Chichester, they would have like different writers and artists like create just like an issue they could throw on the shelf, and that would fit in anywhere. So then they could just be like, oh, what's his, whatever writer can't hit his deadline this month. Yeah, pull that issue off the shelf. Now these days it's just like, yeah, it's gonna be late.
Yeah, well, and I think in the 60s, I mean, it wasn't really until the 70s, was it, that they started doing um longer, like multiple issue stories, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it seems like it. And then
Well, I mean, I guess late in the 60s, sometimes you'd have because like the Robin backups would be in more than one
Yeah.
issue, but that's because he only got like a tiny piece.
Yeah, and of course, eventually, once they started collecting stuff in trade, that's when they really started, continuing stuff.
Yeah, now they write totally differently from how they wrote back in the day.
Yes. Oh, hey, I didn't show you one of my Father's Day presents.
Oh, yeah, what is it?
I got this little bracelet.
Nice.
And this thing on here, on one side it says Nightwing, the other side says Dick Grayson.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty nice.
Looking good.
All right.
Luca and Danielle know what's up.
That's right.
It feels like, yeah, if they mess it up, they'll hear about it.
No, they just pay attention. That's all. All right. So, anything else on any of these issues?
Nope, it was good. It was a good way to start out the month of old times.
Yes. All right. So, let me pull up the schedule here. I'll give everyone their homework for summer of '69. All right, let me scroll down here. Here we go. All right, so next week we'll be covering Detective Comics 390 and 391. I already saw there's the Robin backup in there. Yes.
Oh yeah, that must be that must be what I meant. Yeah, the Robin backup, not the.
Yeah, I think it's the next 2 weeks because then in 2 weeks Detective Comics 394 and 395. So.
Yeah, I mean, so we can just focus on the Robin if you want.
I mean, we'll see if we have time. We can cover Batman. It doesn't matter, and then. We'll definitely focus on them at the end of the month because the last week of the month we'll be covering Teen Titans 19 through 22.
Oh.
Yeah, those hip groovy kids.
That's right. Very hip and very groovy.
Nice. And then, kids, starting in August, we'll be doing old comic issues and either an episode of Batman 66 or the animated series.
Oh yeah, because it's the issue that goes with the show. This is multimedia.
That's a college professor for you, kids. Multimedia.
How does the page translate to the screen?
See? That's higher learning, kids.
That's right. It's be so deep. I'll be interested to hear everyone's thoughts.
Yes. Please, everyone. We would love to hear your thoughts on Summer 69, the upcoming stuff. Hell, send your general Summer of 69 thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can follow Nightwing News on Facebook, on Twitter. Join the Nightwing Facebook fan group. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, everything we do gets a video there, including everything Summer of 69 will be there. So it's your one-stop shop. So smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any part of Summer of 69.
Smash it.
And, of course, subscribe to the Patreon. Again, we're not rich billionaires. We haven't been. We're not the legal wards of rich billionaires. So Every little bit helps, but $3 to $5 gets you access to, well, early access to creator interviews, including Mr. DG Chichester every month, talking to me and Lilith.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And superhero movie brackets. That's right. I'm there. Kristen's there, along with those maniacs, Lilith and Charlie. We're in the middle of our DC episodes. The June episode, Superman 3 versus Superman 4. And then in July, we're going to drag poor Will into this as we cover Catwoman versus Green Lantern. Because, of course, that old man loves Hal Jordan.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
So, subscribe to the
What
Patreon.
what does he say in his quote? It's hard to hear.
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
Oh,
I, of course, love Hal Jordan.
okay, yeah, fair.
That's his Dick Grayson. Yes, he loves Hal Jordan.
That's his Dick Grayson.
So, so subscribe to the Patreon or pick yourself up some snazzy Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. And of course, if you want to know about the past and everything you need to know about Dick Grayson, go pick up Dick Grayson. Boy Wonder. He's some great summer reading for you. Again, complete your summer. Listen to Summer of 69 and read, because you got to exercise that brain, Summer of 69, and then read Dick Grayson, Boy Wonder. Buy yourself a copy. Buy your friends a copy. Graduation parties. Great graduation party gift. I was with my teacher. How can it not be good for is your high school, is your 18-year-old going off to college? It's going to be great prep for college. At least give them something to talk about the kids with. All right. That's right, kids. Come back next week.
I mean, comic books are a good icebreaker around college kids. You know,
Why
it's good
not?
to have hobbies.
Timeless. But yes, come back next week for more Summer of 69 on pretty much all our shows. So
There you go.
Lilith demanded it. Especially Green Lantern, Spider-Man. Is there any other ones? At least those two I know that, yes, they're issue 69s in 1969. So,
Whoa, that's fancy.
mm-hmm.
Issue 69 was a long time ago for Batman.
Yes. Well, volume 1 it was, yes. All right, kids. So, yes, join us next time for more 1969 goodness. Remember, join us same wing time.
Same Wing Channel.
The Nightwing News. Holy, episode 150, Batman.